All right, got the DR10 in, and I want to touch on, throw the light on here. I want to touch on a couple of things that really weren't touched on in the live. And that was how I had to set up my rear suspension in order for this thing to hook up. Now, I am still slipping, so I am going to adjust the slipper, give it some more tension, see what it feels like, see if I can get the car to hook. But as it is right now, granted, it is slipping. As it is right now, at least we're not hooking to that extreme right. But something's just wrong. This isn't... I just want to get into it. So if you're interested in watching this episode from RC Guy Garage, let's talk a little bit more about the Team Associated DR10. I think we're better. We're not going to have the 10 minute limit that my phone somehow limits it to all the time. Something's going on with this car. And granted, I am not a I'm coming from nothing concerning drag race, but there is a certain amount of understanding. Actually, you know what's kind of neat? One thing that I just want to point out, I'm just going to pop you off here real quick. One thing I want to point out is that the way this is configured, it is kind of cool that through the back window, because of the way this car is designed, you get to see, like, the suspension. There's a certain amount of, like, I don't know, certain amount of coolness to that. I don't get to see that in most of my cars, so it's kind of, I don't know, kind of neat. You know what I'm saying? But isn't that is a sick, that's a sick profile right there. So we'll pop off my plum crazy purple clips here. Pop this body off. I'm really liking the design of this body, but what I wanted to do was, because you couldn't see initially what was going on with the car. Obviously, I knew what was going on, meaning when I was putting shims in, I'm not being very fluid with the thing here. But do you see that shim pack? I literally have 3 shims on this right side in order to hook it up. Now, I had these 3 shims in, and I still had the factory shim that was on the other side. Now, I'll turn it around so you can see what's going on the other side. And when you look at my other side, I have 0 shims. So right now, there's like an oddity to my car, which I'm trying to explain. All right? And I know it's a bunch of talk and whatever, but just bear with me for a moment, just so I can maybe explain what the heck is going on here. So when you look at the back profile of the car, one of the issues that I had with mine, again, I'm going to pop you off. One of the issues that I had with my car was, look at how my rear suspension is, okay? See how much upward droop that we have? You can't even call it droop anymore. Well, yeah, you kind of can call it droop. So, I mean, even my wheelie bar is kind of ticked down because the whole left side of my car is now cranked. Like, it's the whole left side just on the back is now settled down, which that can't be right. Something else has got to be going on here for the reason why this isn't hooking up right. But with, and again, like I said, I'm no pro in any form of the word pro or whatever, but there's a certain amount of, like, thinking capacity that I do have. And that thinking is telling me that I gotta see what's up with the suspension. I don't think like my chassis is twisted. Also, now you know my body is actually sitting absolutely perfectly level now, but that's because now the whole left side of my car is dropped. Do you know what I mean? Like it's tweaked. So even when you look at my front suspension is actually suffering as well. Let me get it around to the front. You probably can't see it on camera, and I probably can't show it well, but when you look at that wheel versus this wheel, because the whole rear of the car is more dominant weight, dominant structure in that back section, it is literally causing my whole car is down and then basically down towards that left side, which is also causing the front suspension to react just like that. So that's what I mean by something's up. And still, I am not complaining about this DR10, because point blank, what did it do? It got me into, it gave me the bones. So far, it's giving me the bones of a drag race car, okay, or a drag car. The RTR, you have to 100% just understand, this is not ready to race, it's ready to run. So don't get that confused. Just because it's called the DR10, which is probably why I was calling it the DC10, because it's a drag car, okay? There is no, well, unless it was specifically created, meaning we're not talking about taking a Mustang or a Camaro off the factory line and then like expecting it to drag race and be perfect. So when you start adding things like what this platform is, this platform, from my understanding, is a short course vehicle platform, I guess. So what they've done is they've somehow thrown parts into it to make it more conforming to that drag race scene, but there is a heck of a lot more tuning that needs to be done. So if you think that you're buying a full-on drag race vehicle that you're going to take to the track, it doesn't happen that way. Because even tracks, even the track conditions, everything plays a part. Now, this is part of that no prep. So supposedly the track conditions aren't going to kind of matter in a sense. Yeah, you're not going to be ripping it through water and sand, but you kind of at least want to make sure that the surface that you're running on is a relatively good surface. And my road, I feel, is acceptable for that. We do have cracks, but those cracks are filled, so I don't really see an issue with that. But something's up with this car. But because, again, with the way tuning goes, I know I'm doing a lot of blabbing here, but because of the way tuning goes, you can't just like change like a whole bunch of things and then like expect to learn anything. So each step that I'm taking with this thing, while it's a pain incrementally for a video, and technically it's a pain for me because if I wasn't videoing this, I could literally just switch, tune, change, adjust, not video, and just rip it, figure it out again, change something else, rip it, maybe change two things if I noticed like maybe there was an overcompensation and an undercompensation. Maybe I could just adjust two things, but you do want to just do things incrementally. So it's not like, you rip into it and, change out all the shocks and shims and springs and oil and then, expect to get a learned result. And that's what I like about this whole setup right now, is that this is tuning me up right in here. So Crazy Cooter is getting tuned up by this whole learning process. So enough of my blab. I'm going to actually adjust this slipper clutch right now. We're going to see kind of what it's like. I'm fairly confident that I've got it way too loose now, especially seeing I took the transmission apart. So, yeah. So I took the transmission fully apart. If you haven't seen that live, that was actually a live. It was a shop talk and wrench that I did, I think number 74, 72. I don't know. Whatever the last shop talk and wrench was. I don't know what number it was. Might have been 72. But, yeah, let's just get into this. Let's check out the slipper. All right. I have no tools down here, do I? Or do I? I don't know. So in order to really gain access to this slipper, and eventually what I'm going to do is I'm also going to cut these body posts down, but we're going to wait a little bit for that. I might use the spare body post that it actually came with. to see if these will actually work. And while these are possibly for something else, it's a different style body post. I don't know. So let's just get you down in there. And we'll lock that up. I have to take off this wheel in order to get to that thing there, but you should be able to pop this thing off right here and then be able to adjust the slipper like on the fly. And that's how I'm going to do it right now. The only thing though is that I won't be able to tell how much it's slipping or how tight it is. So I'm going to give it a couple of cranks. Right now, yeah, I actually can't. I need to hold on to that. Drive me insane. I'm going to pause the video. Haha! You know what's kind of cool? This is my old, I think this is my old Traxxas Revo Z-wrench. They call these a Z-wrench. Because I couldn't find this right away, which this is my 7mm. So I believe that the nut on here it's pretty close to a 7, but yeah, so this little Z-wrench thing actually gives it a nice shot. So obviously we're going to crank it clockwise to tighten it up. That's wicked loose. You know what? How about if I get in here with this? You know what? I really need to see the spring. So I'm going to take that cover off. So it's funny, this little Z-wrench obviously works for the wheel nuts as well, which is kind of neat. Probably be quicker using something else, but I'll get it off. Get in here, just gonna pop this case off just so I can, what I want to see is I want to see the spring compression. And that was probably something that I didn't pay attention to initially, was what the spring was compressed to from factory. So I kind of messed things up when I took it apart because I just didn't pay attention. Now to me that spring looks like way too slippy. So yeah. All right, so this is where I kind of screwed up. So don't be like me. Don't screw up like me. Pay attention to how something looks before you like take it apart. Because now I'm starting at like 0.0 on the slipper. So I already know that the car was tuned to launch straight right now. And then we blew apart the whole transmission because I was just like, you know, what the heck is going on? You know what I mean? Like, what's that click? Or whatever I was feeling. We do have, you know, all brand new transmission parts coming. Went with a Robinson Racing idler gear, a Hot Racing center diff. Well, not center diff. A Hot Racing differential, which is, you know, metal. And then I also went with a spool. Because I said that this particular vehicle, I'm going to be throwing parts into it. Not using like glue sticks and earplugs. This time I'm going to be just using parts, and that's just the way I want to do it. So let's make sure we got a 3S pack ready to go. And the next time you see me, we will be at the RC Guy Garage Dragway. You heard that echo, right? I love it. I'm telling you, man, if you don't get into this, there's something wrong with you. Forget all that crawling stuff. Crawling is just way too slow. All right, so I don't know how to start this, but we are out with the DR10. It is pretty cold out for this time of year, but I believe the sun has had a chance for us to be able to rip the Associated DR10. No prep. I'm just gonna call it the drag car, man. It's giving me some issues, which is fine. The issues are minor, but the issues are tuning. So I do have my wrench with me. I will be able to tighten up the slipper clutch. So right now, this is slipper clutch episode, I guess. Further tuning of the Associated DR. I actually said it right this time. I almost messed that up. So we are out here now at RC Guy Garage Dragway. We're gonna give a couple of test hits, and we're gonna keep tightening the slipper each time we do a hit. So this will be kind of a monotonous video. If you don't want to watch it, don't want to watch it. If you want to skip, skip. But yeah, it's all that learning process with tuning this car. It is an RTR, ready to run, not ready to race. So let's rip it. So the wind is going to be killing it. This GoPro, for some reason, this is the one that always gave me a hard time, so it's giving me a hard time again. So GoPro on, little GoPro. I don't even know if that was right. I can't even tell if it's recording. I'm gonna switch this. Switch here. GoPro. Hopefully on. Yay, it's working. Alright, it is windy as heck. So I don't know how well this is gonna go. It actually has the potential, I think, of throwing off the car. So what I'll do is I'll try to, I guess, I'll try to do some test runs, like, yeah, let's just rip it. So put it up right to the line. This is going to be a cold rip. I'm not exactly sure what the slipper clutch is set on, but I'm just going to give it a pull. Whoa, okay, so that way hooked to the left now. What the hell? So now I think the slipper clutch is, the DVC is off. There's no more DVC, so let's give it a hit again. Way hooks. So now I feel like, I don't even feel like this is going to, this was launching straight. Now that I adjusted the slipper clutch, it's like terrible. All right, so we're definitely getting wheel slip. I think. DVC is off. I'm gonna turn my dual rate back down. I'm just gonna give it a launch. All right, so this time I'm gonna just give it a launch, and I'm gonna give it some control with steering. Ugh. Why is it hooking like Earl's car used to now? So now that the wheels are actually slipping, now it's going to want to hook to the left. Come on, wind, go away. Nah, something's off here. All right. I'm just gonna give it a quick tire burn. See what it does now. Oh, God. My steering is way off now. I didn't adjust no trim, man. Nah, see, I can tell now. I can tell something's up. That was a little better. It's still wanting to now nastily pull to that left. Where before it was pulling to the right, and then I got it to adjust. We adjusted the slipper clutch, and now it's just literally cranking it. Yeah, there's no way. Let's give it a little tire burn. Little better, but you heard that. All right, I don't know, man. So now that I tightened up the slipper clutch, it's wanting to pull hard to that right. Jesus. Give it a little tire burn. Launch. Little better, but I hesitated on the full pull. I definitely think we got some suspension issues here. Let's give it another little burn. That was better. My dual rate is still way cranked off. It's just way too much steering. I gotta turn that way down. That's better. Maybe a little bit more. Tires, I'm hoping, are warmed up enough. All right. Wait a minute. Now it actually, that was almost a straight launch. No, hooked. All right. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Oh! That was my foot. It's got way too much suspension lean. Just gonna give it just one more pull. And then, I don't know, maybe I'm going to adjust the slipper just a little bit tighter. Yeah, all right. So let's adjust the slipper just a touch tighter. Little GoPro, big GoPro, hopefully. Sounds like it's on. So we just adjusted the slipper a little bit more. Now we'll see if this car can actually hook up. Yeah, just see what happens. We're definitely getting some front wheel rippage now. I am going to do a cold pass I just want to see how it reacts with just a cold pass. So we did adjust the slipper only. Now let's see how it reacts. Still slipping out in the wheels. Let's give the tires a quick little burn. Oh, I thought I was going to hit the drain. All right, give the tires just a little burn. Give it a crank. Man, I can't tell if that slipper is slipping or what's going on. Because I feel like I should be pegging the wheelie bar right now. Give it another burn. Give it a rip. It is still wanting to crank hard left now. When yesterday, well, no, not yesterday, the day before yesterday, it was launching straight. Is that wheelie bar even contacting at all? It's not. It's not. So I'm going to give a couple more cranks of that slipper, see if that makes a difference. Little GoPro, big GoPro. So I'm not sure, but I feel like the slipper is like 100% cranked now. So just give it a quick cold rip. Warm up the tires a little bit. Give the tires a nice little burn. It's just hooking way too much. No, now we're on ground. Something's got to be up with suspension. I don't know what the heck is going on here. Just give it a pull, see what happens. Well, I could definitely smell the rubber's warm now. It is hooking up a little bit better. But the suspension, something's up, man, because to have a spring shim that much on one side like that, that just seems wrong. Nah, I don't like it. All right. It's cold out here anyway. So as you can see, I don't know. We got to take it in. We got to check it out. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. I'm going to figure out what's going on with the suspension. While it may have leveled out my body, it has seriously affected. Now I'm hooking like all left. So before, out of the box, I was hooking right. I adjusted the springs, gave more shims to that right side because I was hooking right, which then eventually caused it to go straight. And now that I tightened up the slipper, now it's wanting to hook left. It's just tuning, so let's just get in there and tune it. So if you like this episode from RC Guy Garage, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna check the slipper, and I'm just gonna go inside, check the slipper, see where we're at on that spring. I'm thinking that the spring might be cranked all the way down right now, but I just can't, honestly, I can't tell whether if I'm getting slipped, so I'm pretty much gonna have to hold the wheels. Maybe we'll do like a bench test, a literal bench test. We'll hold down those wheels and see if we get the slipper to slip. That'll be at least one way to at least tell what's going on concerning that. And then I'm literally gonna have to take like the back shocks off and just see what the hell is going on, because that's just wrong. So let's just go inside. All right. So we are now in from the outside. I'm gonna shut this thing off. And I wanna see, because obviously being outside, and I did just do some adjustments, I think right now what I wanna do, I'm gonna leave it on. I'm going to turn the controller on, and what I want to do is I actually want to see, like, or hear if that slipper is slipping. Do you know what I mean? Like, ooh, that's locked. Yeah, that's locked. So that's actually locked down right now. Yeah, that's definitely, yeah, that's locked. All right, so, what the hell's going on here? Oh, this is where the learning is going to be kind of painful. So let's check, just because I want to see. I do kind of want to know where is this. Did I, like, literally crank all the spring out of that? Did I really crank all the spring out of that slipper? So I actually like this wrench right here. This is from HoBao, and I like, because it's a triangle wrench, it's so easy to like use. What are we looking at for? What are we looking at for this? I want this one. Pop this cover off just to see. I just want to see what's going on here. You know what? Associated, I think it was Associated, for my RC10 had a clear trick. Yeah, I cranked that. Yeah, that's like, here. Yeah, I pretty much cranked all the threads out of there. Right there. You can see the slipper is basically locked right now. So obviously my car is not, either my pavement's not cold, my pavement's too cold, or maybe like, maybe there's just too many like shims in that shock now. All right, let's just back you off. Let's just check this out. I'm gonna put this. I'm like at a loss here. I think I'm gonna back off the slipper. Just a crank, so that at least like there's like a little amount of slip. Is that? I don't know. Probably going against everything that I was just talking about. I'm just gonna see right now. I'm gonna see if this slipper slips. The slippery slipper. Ah! I didn't put the damn cover on. So we can cut. Cut! Alexa, what's the temperature out today?
Right now, it's 44 degrees Fahrenheit. Today, expect a high of 59 degrees.
So it's going to be 60, but it's wicked windy out. All right. Cut. Now, I know this sounds weird, but for me, I feel like I'm going... I feel like I'm, like, going backwards here. Like, I feel like I went too far backwards now. Something's up here. Number one, because obviously this is that, short course kind of deal, I don't like the fact that we have toe on the wheels. We are getting like an odd wear pattern problem, which I want to show you that, and I want to show you to understand why this is happening. Now, see how we have shininess on here? So the reason why we now have shininess, while this wheel itself is showing, I want to say like a good wear pattern, the reason why we now have shininess on here is because technically, if we kept this suspension droop that we have to that left side, we have increased the amount of toe.
Camber! Jeez, I'm an idiot.
So we would actually want to decrease the toe, meaning
not toe, it's camber.
Top wheel out further, give it more of a neutral toe.
It's camber, you idiot.
So yeah, I don't know. I need to pop some shims out here. I'm just gonna I'm gonna cut this right now. I feel like I almost am going backwards right now with this car, and this is the part about tuning. I don't know. So anyways, if you like episodes like this from RC Guy Garage, you want to follow along in the RC Guy Garage Crazy Cooter Fabricable hack episodes of trying to tune this DR10, you already know what to do, so just get out there and rip it. See what it does now. Oh, God. Oh. Jesus. Why is it hooking like Earl's car used to now? So now